Hello and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name's Jason Newland and this is me doing a recording which is going to be focusing on changing a physical sensation, which I call the Worzel Gummidge technique. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. Now, Worzel Gummidge is a scarecrow, a TV scarecrow. It's not real, like a lot of things on TV. I mean, obviously a lot of things on TV are real, but some things aren't. EastEnders definitely is. And the Kardashians isn't. I think that's the distinct, you've got to sort of figure it out, I suppose, over time. And no one looks that good all the time. It's just, apart from me. So, with Worzel Gummidge, that's loud, isn't it? With Worzel Gummidge, he had heads, different heads, which he'd put on. So if he wanted to be extra clever, he'd put a clever head on. If he wanted to be a gardener, he'd put a gardener head on. If he wanted to be an entertainer, he'd put his entertainment head on. So I'm wobbling my head. I'm probably not doing it justice, but I think he used to screw his head on. He used to turn his head like that and then like that, and it'd be exactly the same head, but it would be like a different hat, really. It'd still be him, but maybe he'd have makeup on or he'd be wearing glasses. I suppose if he was intelligent, he'd have like spectacles and maybe a beard, or I don't know, just those cliches, And I thought about this in the past. We all have the ability to change how we feel instantly. Sometimes without even noticing we're doing it. Example is my first stepmom when I was about 10 or 11. She was moaning at me about something, I don't know, use the toilet properly, stop going in people's beds, something like that, some boring thing, and keep your bedroom tidy, stop chucking stuff out the window, where have you hidden your brother, and just things like that, normal stuff. And she was proper going into one, having a proper tantrum. I do find it funny how adults have bigger tantrums than kids. It's funny, isn't it? When they tell you, hey, behave, then they go into a tantrum. And they're doing everything but actually punching the floor, rolling around. It's funny. So, I do that myself. Not in the supermarket, though. Not now I'm banned. So, no, but anyway, I was pretending to kind of listen to what she was saying because it was very loud. So I kind of, here we go. You've got to just kind of pretend to care, haven't you, in those situations? And proper fuming. The phone rang. Ring, 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 ring. Not a good impression of a phone, but in them days, you used to have phones that you'd pick up and answer. And for some weird reason, and this is true, ask an old person, people used to say their own telephone number. I'd pick up and say 439-621, hello. But not everyone would say the same number, that everyone would have a different number, and it'd be kind of written on the phone. I don't know why. I guess it was just to tell the other person that they'd rung the right number. So 549-632. And it seems weird now. It probably seems weird that we used to have phones that you have to pick up. But they're much easier to talk into. It's much more intimate, much more personal than a mobile phone. Because you get like right in their ear. Like when if you're talking to someone in a phone and they hear it, it's like a shell kind of situation. If you imagine if you was inside if you shrunk yourself down and you're inside a shell with a loudspeaker, because I suppose they wouldn't hear you unless you had a loudspeaker, and they put the shell to their ear, and you were like saying, hello, you all right? You know, it's kind of intimate, isn't it? It's quite close. Be careful you don't fall into their ear. But you know what I mean. It's kind of intimate. We don't have that anymore, so that's gone. It's a shame because I used to quite like them. And yeah, that's what I remember. She was like, "Arr!" She'd pack up the phone. Hello, 496-532. I'm not sure she put on a weird smile that I just did, but like completely changed her demeanour. One of her legs raised. I don't know what that was about. Like behind. Again, I don't know, but she like completely changed her demeanour. Hello, 4567392. She didn't talk like that, but... And I thought, the first time I saw her do it, because I'd only lived with her since I was 7, so the first time I saw her do it was probably when I was about 8 or 9, I reckon. I thought, oh, brilliant. The drama's over. We can now get on to me finding another room to trash. I can get on to doing something else. What else can I destroy? So I sit down on a settee, just picking at it, you know. Try to see how much of a hole I can make in the settee. You know, just normal stuff that kids do. Make a little list on my pad of things I could burn. And she comes off the phone, turns round and continues shouting at me. I was like, where's the nice mummy gone? Where is she? Oh, I wanted to like tap on her head, say, are you in there? But obviously I wouldn't do that. But, you know, because that would probably be wrong, wouldn't it? But like, hello? She completely changed her demeanour. It's almost like she put a Worzel Gummidge head on, the nice Worzel Gummidge, answering the phone Worzel Gummidge head. And then she took it off and put back on the angry Worzel Gummidge head, thinking that by being angry it was going to change the way that I behaved. So I had my Worzel Gummidge head on, which was nothing you say is going to make any difference to what I do. So a bit of an attitude probably. I was very young. I was very attitudinal when I was a kid. Just for a little while. I got better as I got older. I mean, I was much friendlier towards people by the time I got to about 52. And I found that interesting. That we can change how we feel. So some people say, oh, I can never change how I feel. This is how I feel. I'm like this all the time. Nobody's like anything all the time. I'm always this way. No, you're not. So no one's always feels the same way all the time. Some people think they do, but they don't. I mean, I was doing counselling. I remember I had this man saying, I'm always depressed. Yeah, we spent about 30 minutes out of 50 minutes laughing. And he was like, I never laugh. Literally half an hour, he was laughing. Because not only was I hilarious, he was as well. So he was like a really funny bloke, and he wanted to be a comedy writer. And he watched comedy all the time. Yet he felt that he was a certain way when actually he wasn't just that. You know, it wasn't all the time. We're not one thing all the time. So what you could do, if you kind of know what Worzel Gummidge is, you could imagine playing around with a Worzel Gummidge head. So you could have, what would be good, a confidence head. A Worzel Gummidge confidence head. So you can close your eyes and imagine that you're picking up your Worzel Gummidge confidence head. Maybe they're all in this big rack of, labelled confidence, excited, it could, or whatever it wants to be. Calm, relaxed, all these different heads. They're your heads. And it's not like a weird thing. Oh, I watched this bloke on video, and he was talking about having a big rack of heads, severed heads. No, it's not severed heads. It's an imagination. It does sound weird actually when you put it like that, but it's not about having a bunch of heads. It's not really about the heads. I wish I could stop saying heads. But if you just imagine in your mind, you take off the head you got on. Okay, it sounds weird when I actually visually try and do it, but just unscrew your head and you reach out, you grab the confident head, and then you just put it on top of your head and it just fixes naturally. Maybe you want to screw it on, maybe you just want to tap the top of your head and it just goes in. And just sit with that for a few seconds and notice how that feels. Knowing that that head is the confidence head. That's when you feel confident. That's when you feel it in your body. You feel it in your shoulders, you feel it in your hands, in your face, in your spine, in your legs, your feet, your toes, your jaw. You feel it in your brain, that sense of like confidence, and yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can. Let's get it done, baby. You can do it. You feel confident. You can do it. Now, every time you take that head off, you leave some of that confidence in your system, and it builds up over time. So you can play around with these different heads. And so you take the confidence one off. Maybe try on the relaxation one. I'll put that on. It's really weird, just the idea of like putting it on, you're physically holding your hands and just pulling them down the side of your face like that. And maybe just tapping on the top, gently. And feeling that sense of comfort spreading through your body. It's like everything slows down. It feels nice. Your eyelids feel heavy, your forehead is soft, your jaw is loose, your shoulders nice and loose and heavy, your arms, hands and fingers relaxed, your legs, feet and toes, the whole of your back. You can feel the sense of comfort spreading down your spine, shooting into each part of your body, sending that message of relaxation deeply, strongly. And your mind starts to slow down. Maybe your thoughts start to slow down and things become a little bit clearer, more peaceful. It feels nice. Yeah, it does feel nice just to relax. But it's happened naturally. Effortlessly. And that's what I like, because I'm very lazy. I don't like putting a lot of work in. So something can be as easy as just pretending to put a Worzel Gummidge head on that's full of relaxation or confidence, then I'll choose that. And your unconscious mind doesn't know the difference. Because by imagining something, your physiology and your brain acts as if it's real, acts as if it's true. So the more you imagine you're feeling relaxed, or you're about to feel relaxed, and you're going to continue to feel even more relaxed, that's what you'll get more of. And this is something that's been tried and tested for many, many years. What I notice when I'm feeling relaxed is the background sounds feel nice. And it doesn't matter, I mean at the moment it's rain, it doesn't matter if it's, even if it's a car alarm going off in the distance, as long as it's not too close, but in the distance, or a train going past, or a plane, or maybe someone in the garden, the wind. There's something quite nice about just being part of it without having to do anything. Remembering that we're all connected by energy. I like to think that we're pretty much all related as well, if you go back far enough. So even people that maybe you don't get on with, people that are strangers, I mean ultimately, don't most people just want the same thing? To be happy, to feel calm. And then your breathing becomes deeper naturally. And slower as your mind continues to slow down. You may feel a breeze on your face, even if there's no windows open, just a coolness on your skin. I can definitely feel it on my bald patch. You know, I was in the summer, I was out. I didn't have a hat on, and someone said, why aren't you wearing a hat? I said, I don't have a hat in the summer, I wear a hat in the winter. They said, why don't you even get a little bit of cloth and cover up your bald patch? Maybe use some sellotape or blue tack or super glue. Just cover that bald patch in the back of your head. And I thought to myself, I've just come in here to buy some milk, mate. Can you just take the money and I'll leave? I mean, I'm not slagging off Sainsbury's, but sometimes they can, be a bit personal. But I didn't feel too bad because I stole some biscuits. I didn't do that. I don't know why I said that. A very moral rule is, if I'm in the supermarket, I never steal anything less than £20. No, I don't steal. Why? Relax. That's it. Relax. See, when I relax, my mind becomes a bit more open and a bit more fluid, a bit more calm. And I don't know about you, but I find that when I relax, I can start to see the funny sides to stuff that maybe I didn't before. So things that used to be super serious and stressful become less so, more relaxing. Realizing that you can just let that go, drop it on the floor like a bag of dog poo. Although you should really put the dog poo in a dog bin. But you know what I mean, you know where I'm going with that. Although every field around the country, in England anyway, has got a dog poo tree, a dog poo bag tree everywhere. And I don't know why. What's the point in picking it up if you're just going to chuck it into a tree? Like an all year round Christmas tree, but with dog poo. And it seems like a really weird thing to do. I don't do that. I don't mean I don't bother putting it in the bag. I mean, I do pick it up and take it to a bin. It's nice to know you can just walk away. It's a little bit like, have you ever done something and you just didn't like doing it, and finally you don't have to do it anymore? I've been like that with some jobs, and I'd still wake up sometimes and, I've got to go to that place, and then remember I don't have to. The relief. It's nice. And it can feel a bit like that when you have the relief that you don't need to worry about stuff that's gone. It's just dog poo in a dog poo bag. There's probably not many people that could do these kind of recordings, going from Worzel Gummidge heads to a rack of heads to dog poo bags in a relaxation session. I'm not sure if it's a skill or an ailment. I'm not sure. Time will tell. For me, it's whatever causes that useful, positive change. And you start to feel different. You might listen to me or watch my videos and think, what the heck is he going on about? But then the next day, you realise something's changed for the positive. And the day after that, and the day after that, you start to notice that you're feeling better about yourself. you realise that actually you do have more control over how you feel. And that's a powerful state to be in. A position of power and love. So even though I talked about poo bags and stuff, I still managed to end it by being soppy, and see, I can do that. So I am going to bring this recording to an end. I'd like to say thank you for listening, thank you for watching. Remember to be kind to yourself because you deserve to be happy. Be gentle with yourself, you deserve to feel safe. Also remember that you are already enough and that you're going to be okay. Lots of love. Bye.